And we are recording Mr. William Ramsey on Monday, October 30th, 2023 at 4:14 p.m. Eastern Time to cover your book about the Smiley face killers. The link to it will be in the description. And as I just said to you before this, and you concurred, is a fucked up book. Absolutely fucked up book. A depressing book. Not too ghoulish, but I mean the arm, the rigor mortis arm, where they had to put a second body bag on it. Nice, and it's a nice summer read. It's a nice, if you want to save it for the beach. Yeah. Mr. Ramsey, how
It,
you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me
Good,
back.
sir. Yeah.
It's a perfect book for Halloween
Hmm.
tomorrow, so people can read it
Ooh.
and get really sketched out.
I wore my yellow hoodie for the Watchman smiley face. I didn't have a smiley
Nice.
face hoodie, but I had a yellow hoodie. Um, yeah, and then so I guess kind of conclusively, not that it can be concluded because it's mostly still open ended. Is it they have GHB and then scopolamine the creepy one? I remember watching a documentary years ago about that. But is it loose drugs, loose murders with drugs? They all seem to be, for lack of a better term, good looking younger guys. And or is it high level, like we talked about with the last one, Order of Nine Angles, high level, satanic occultish culling of the population. But
They're both
it's
good questions. I don't know. I don't know.
damn it.
I mean,
All
the book
right.
is really an investigating, so I don't know who's doing it. I know that there are people who the cops should ask questions to, but I don't really have like any perps. All I have is the information in the book. I mean, it's 400 pages, but there could be very different people doing it. So I don't really have. I had a whole section on offender typology, guys who were doing horrific stuff with drugs, involved a lot of deaths and rapes and stuff like that. But maybe those guys were doing it. Like that's what I surmise is like I felt like even one of the guys who I covered, Lutunsky, he only got busted for one murder, but I bet he was involved in some other dark stuff. Like he had a downstairs dungeon in his house. So um I don't know. That's why I have those different sections.
Yeah.
I kind of laid it out in a historical fashion so that people could see the ideas from the beginning when people started to put things together up till the present. So you can see the different researchers in my book. So a variety. Jim Smith, Igor Sarsky, the original two guys, Gannon and Gilbertson. And then some other ones. There's Nicole Weisensee Egan, who did a great book on Bill Cosby. She did a couple papers for the Daily Beast about one of the cases. So I included that. Another guy was Murphy, who is a special forces
Hmm.
guy who wrote a really good article
Yeah.
about what he thought. So those are all included in the book. So there's a lot of questions, not a lot of answers, unfortunately.
I mean, I guess to kind of go into just wildly speculating, then it would be advantageous for a murderer to want to mimic these. I mean, one, you'd have kind of I feel like edgy is maybe the wrong word because edgy is often thrown as like a, sarcastic, oh, so edgy. Doesn't really work when you're describing murders, but it's kind of an edgy copycat thing, right? Where to, leave a smiley face. It's the calling card, right? It's part of something bigger, grander.
Right.
But
Fake it.
then,
Like there's been a couple deaths that are associated with like the CDC and the Wellcome Trust. There was a guy, one of the guys who died in the spate of deaths just this year in Austin was worked for Wellcome Trust, which is all involved. You probably know very well, all involved in the whole COVID situation.
mhm.
And then there was another young man found in River who literally worked at the CDC. He was an African American guy. He went to Harvard. Like he had a stellar academic career. For some reason, he just decided to disappear and later was found down stringing from where he worked. So those might be, like you said, copycats, people covering things up, skilled form of I mean, I remember there was an ex-head of the CIA. Kind of, he went out boating,
Was
and
it
then he was found
Casey
in
or Colby?
Colby. Yeah, Colby. Like he was, where's his body? And then it suddenly magically appeared. So he was kind of like one of these styles of killings. So I think that the MO somehow got passed around, just like on a bulletin board, or some kink site or something like that. And so people are like, okay, I'm going to try to do something like that. And so you
Hmm.
see similar criminals committing those crimes, whether it's in Manchester or London, and those are the ones who got caught, right? So
You know, talking about like the dark web, and they would go on and for the investigators, and they'd try to view the website. They didn't have the password, and the people running it, what the website wanted to see, wanted them to turn on their video camera, their webcam, so that they could see who was looking, which is kind of like a modern digital version of knocking on the door and the little slide comes open, right?
right.
But there's no other way to do it. I mean, you almost wonder if it's a form of just, I guess, very wealthy uh sexual kink. Show them show whoever the client is, a number of pictures and be like, who do you want killed? Or it'd be like, this is in your area. Which one do you want? Because they all seem to be held for a number of days. It does almost seem like some super high level eyes wide shut shit, doesn't it?
Some of them do, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
one case when you're saying that comes to mind is the Dakota James case
Hmm.
in Pittsburgh, PA. He seems to have been selected. So
Yeah.
he had a blackout event, and his friend, he said, come called his girlfriend,
Yeah.
come pick
Come
me
get
up.
me walking down the street, just comes to.
Yeah, like I don't even know where I was for the last amount of time. So it's like somebody was tinkering with him, and he was gay and he was hanging out the gay bar. So maybe he was targeted.
Yeah.
But he was missing for a long time, and his body, when it was found, it was in very good shape. So that's like really one of the scariest elements of this whole thing, is that he clearly was not dead from the time that he disappeared. He was missing for 40 days.
Yeah.
And I
No.
have that case set out. It's a very important case in the whole spate of SFK cases because it was very well researched. They had the best like medical examiner. Cyril Wecht looked at the bodies outside of the medical examiner in Pittsburgh, who's from China, which like totally bizarre. Like he missed obvious stuff. Like I could have seen the ligature around the neck. I would have gone, hey, this guy has like bruising around his neck. It's
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
So yeah, set that case aside. It's really an important case for people, help people understand what's going on. But I think your high level thing is accurate. And I've heard some really heavy duty kink stuff about another very famous Hollywood figure who probably not wise to name his name, but I've heard it in different instances of like hyper strange perversions of like driving around in like a party van and then killing people and forcing like straight guys to do things that homosexuals
Hmm.
do. So yeah, and possible rape. So maybe these, like you said, these guys are high level kind of people who
Ballers.
normal
They got
stuff
cash.
is just not yeah, it's not fun. Yeah.
Yeah, they've done everything, and it's because I remember that was something hypothesized. I don't know when, but there's the idea of like, it's one thing to kidnap a kid. It's another thing where they could almost show you like a menu, like which kid do you want. So I mean, I interviewed people that from is it Safe House, I think, where it was these homeless these shelters for girls that were trafficked. I've had them on here before, and I've had on like the former special forces guys that go help rescue these girls. And that's one of the things they would talk about is like when you get to the wealthier ones, I mean, it's almost like a restaurant menu. It's like, which one do you want? But now that
It's
is,
sick. Yeah, Sound
yeah,
of
no,
Freedom type stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
if you
yeah, no,
remember that
it's
movie.
sicker than sick, but it's those were with girls that were already kidnapped. It would be another whole level of, you know, just the highest of the high. Could be like, no, we don't even have these. They're not even kidnapped yet. Like, do you want to? Which one do you want? Right? We have these picked out. This is, you said you got this body type. This is your kind of hookup. Which one do you want? You want this guy?
Right. Yeah.
Swimmers build Ivy League, you know? And it really is. I mean, it's like the desecration of like innocence, right? It's kind of it's like, I know I don't want some homeless guy. I
Right. I
want
want like all American,
all
athlete type guy.
American
Yeah.
from, good household. Like I want that. and you want to hold them for X number of days, and I want it to end in a ritualistic manner.
It
It's
could be
kind
that
of
sick.
it's kind of right up there.
Imagine these guys that are on these gay like grinder sites putting their information out, not knowing that somebody's out there going, "Hey, this guy's I can get this guy to show up at a date or whatever."
Yeah.
You know, like they don't know, and it makes me think. I did a segment on the Juarez murders. It's like 2,000 women in Juarez, Mexico, have been like horrible stuff. They've been abducted. They're like young girls who are from like not wealthy families at the maquiladoras and stuff. And the people who've researched it, there's been different research, and I think one of the FBI profilers went down there, and they said that these girls were pre-selected. There was a commonality. There was some kind of computer training school that they were at, and so that was the way these elite kind of guys would select them, and then they would abduct them and do horrible things. And that was kind of like they would do it for celebration. So if they had drugs who got through and they made money, that's how they would celebrate and bond themselves together, because through the murder and the whole like nightmare of the whole thing, that's like that was like the apex thing, the desecration like thing, or a real sign of power, right? So these people who are into power probably get off on like these type of things, but that might be it. It made me, when you're saying that, it makes me think about, I had another guest, Dory, and where we were talking about the Joey Labute case in Columbus. It happened during the time of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, which is the biggest bodybuilding, convention in the world, is my understanding, or one of the top. And think about some rich guy flying into town, committing the crime, and bailing out, or something like that. Like this is like their sport. So maybe like serial killers, like I don't know, any serial killer. Maybe this guy Hewerman or whatever, who was busted in Long Island, the Lisk killer. Maybe for them, they're in their mind, it's like a sport, like it's like a power trip or a game or something like that. Like Hewerman, the reason he used those like burlap bags is because he was a hunter, right? So this was like a hunt for him, for these women that he murdered. So maybe that's what's going on in these SFK things, is that they're hunting. And that's it. Like if you look at this guy, I featured him in that one section, Reynard Sinaga. That's what he did. He was gay, and he would go out at 2 a.m. and hunt for victims. Like that was his prowling grounds. And maybe one of his people died, and he put him in the water in Manchester. They call this phenomenon in each different city like different names. So in Manchester, it's called the Manchester Pusher. In Austin, Texas, it's called the Rainy Street Ripper, but it's all the same kind of phenomenon. So, yeah, but the elite element to it, I think, is a valid kind of road to go down to, so to speak, to look into.
And would you say the total number of bodies was?
In my book, it's like 370. So going back to the original one, McNeil. So it was worse than I thought, because I was always saying 200. But then when I actually compiled all my information together and went through it, and there was another guy compiling it. I had a chapter on him. It's Footprints at the River's Edge. People can go to that website. It's really good. But his numbers included with my numbers, I was at 370. And I think I have another 50 cases that I have to go back to an old external hard drive and go through there. So I think it's really bad, like all over the world though. So it's not like, and it's an urban phenomenon, a nighttime phenomenon. It really rarely happens in rural areas. Maybe there's a few cases here or there, but it's the major cities: Chicago, New York, Toronto, Boston.
It's the whole all-American thing. That's what kind of gets me, is it does seem like they're plucking them from, like, I mean, like a like a breeder, like a horse race breeder or some shit, right? The first round drafts, whatever's, phrase you want to use. It seems to be like not me. It's not me stumbling around shit faced, right? They don't want that. There's a type they want.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Gilbertson has said that in one of his, I think either Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz appearances. He said that the BMI index is outside of the mean. So it's not the standard American male. It's like somebody who's a swimmer or skinnier.
Oh no, it's like swimmers build like lean muscle.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, I was reading it, and like Like, it felt my stomach, and I was like, "No, we're good, dude. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah,
fucking killed. We're
yeah.
Gucci."
There's only like two pudgy pictures of people that I've seen of the people who got who
We're
this
good.
happened to. I
We're
don't even
good.
know if there was a fact. I don't even know if there was a kind of BMI over the standard mean. Actually, now that I think about it, I
But
can't.
these
I have trouble thinking about it.
these killers are problematic. They don't, they don't kill equally. But what you were saying about downtown and near CCTVs, and you could propose, are they using like mathematical modeling to see, which people go into black spots or dark, whatever you
Right.
want to call it, out of the camera angle, because none of them ever get caught on it. There's never, and then there's not a single video or photo of them ever entering the body of water. It's always them leaving someplace. Which again, if it's that, yeah, you're not looking at like a hit and run type murder or kidnap rape. It seems to be well done, right?
I think there's been mistakes, and the cops aren't thinking about it. So I think that that's really it. There's the whole thing that happened at TD Garden in Boston just recently with this kid Josh who was found in water. Like there was a guy who was with him that the cops never followed up on, and that could have they followed that guy and quizzed him and asked him the right questions. They could have maybe gotten more information, but because these look like accidents, it's like, yeah, no, we're not even going to look into it. And a lot of them, there's an over proportion of like gay guys in the gay community, so they may be less inclined to look into that as well. Um, but yeah, it's nobody's filmed these guys go in the water. These aren't standard water deaths. They're not drownings. Some of these guys don't have water in their lungs. Like so it's like something different is going on, something very unusual.
Like,
That's not a standard drowning.
yeah, it's like, what the fuck is it? I'm like,
Right. I've done the studies. I've had a lot of. I've interviewed people like the girl who's the first person on Dahmer's apartment.
yeah,
This woman. I've had a lot of. I did a story, Kolerick, about a gay serial killer who was thoughtful. His name was Eiler in the Midwest, and also McDonough, another guy who had 100 victims in L.A. I mean, incredible. And they were working together. Like these people, like Dahmer was seemed to be singular, but the guy Eiler and the guy in LA had to have had partners or somebody working with them. It's Eiler would take them to he would take them out of gay bars and take them across state lines. So he would confuse the police, like do jurisdictional, things. And I should have included in the book now that I think about it, but it seems like something like that's going on. Like, that's why the men are the target. It's because and there's a history of like gay serial killer. Baumeister from the Midwest, the guy in Canada is Toronto. His name was MacArthur. MacArthur. So I think that that's a possible component too. I think that that's something, but it could be it's like a blueprint, right? So people just may be using the blueprint to
mm,
commit these crimes, like they know they've heard it. So
yeah,
there's clearly multiple people, multiple groups or parties doing these types of crimes. There's no question about it
yeah,
in my mind.
yeah. I mean, if this is one guy, he's
No,
the best ever. He's
no, there's
This
no
is the
way.
best ever. Yeah,
There's some cases like this guy Naz Muhammad, like this was in Georgia. This was a Jim Smith case, but it's clearly those people that are around him have no, they're not networked with some kind of they're not people who travel. Yeah, the Naz Muhammad case, people have to look into that. It's really a remarkable case,
mm,
but like the just there's sketchy. Yeah, there's an underground. There's an underground, a sketchy kind of occult underground, and Naz Muhammad seemed to have entered into that in Atlanta. He was from
so,
Perth. He's from Australia. It was really a strange story.
hmm. So with it being like, I'm just trying to think. Could it be that they're taking advantage of the party scene? And if it is happens to be all guys, it would make sense to go, I guess, near, gay hangouts or nightclubs or whatever. And then I mean, is there any evidence to like, is it not being done by a gay guy? Is it some like crazy fundamentalist like, going out and killing them because they're gay or some shit?
I don't know. Some of these guys aren't gay, but
Yeah.
there is a connection between kind of gaming events or events in these deaths. So there's been three events that happened outside of TD Gardens, right? It's Hurley, Ketterling, I forgot his last name, and then this kid Josh who came out of TD Garden and ended up face down in the water for 10 minutes. And then there was like events in Pittsburgh, raves and dance party type things where these guys are found. And then the Ian Powers out of Santa Clara Niners game is really a strange one too. So it seems like, these groups, people may be able to operate in secrecy amongst these large crowds of people. I don't know.
Yeah, the drugging aspect is terrifying, right? Because it's not alcohol. It's not just alcohol, right? Scopolamine is, or GHB, or I mean those are terrifying, right?
Rohypnol,
Yeah.
could be anything. I
Yeah.
think Dahmer drugged his victims too, right? So that
Yeah.
was part of his thing. He got kicked out of a gay bathhouse for drugging
Yeah.
people, so we
Yeah.
know that was part of his MO.
Yeah,
So
but
and same with Stephen Port and that was Reynard Sanaga too. So these guys were all drugging their victims. Stephen Port drugged tons of people. He ended up killing 4 at least, but he's called the barking serial killer or something, which is the city he was in. But
it's
yeah, the
all
drug thing is pretty weird. It's pretty disturbing.
what's the scariest part though is like it's not even that you're getting blackout drunk. Do that, you're kind of bad shit's gonna happen. But these are, the guy, calling the girl and being like I don't even know how I just kind of came to walking down a street, right? And like the cops won't help me, no one will help me, and like I'm so cold, and like it's just all this weird. It's like that doesn't sound like someone that got like too fucked up and is like calling his buddy like, "Hey man, I woke up at this sorority house," right? Kind of like there's almost like a funniness to that. I mean, I know that happened to me a lot in college, but like it's not that. It's like this very nightmarish, fever dreamish. Like no one will like talking nonsense. Kind again, it's not like your words are just slurring, and it's like, yeah, you've had too many drinks. It's like no one will help me. I'm in, I'm so cold. Like, and it's just like, what the fuck? Where are you? What the fuck's going on?
Right. And a lot of personality change. You'll see that it's consistent if you look at all the stories of the 300 stories or so that I've looked into. A lot of these guys are like very normal, even keeled, and then like start acting strange after 1 or 2 drinks, which would be
Yeah,
very unlike. And some of them are big, like strong guys. One of the guys from Austin comes to mind who like had 1 or 2 drinks and started acting whacked, and they kicked him out of the bar. So some of these bars may be involved in that. Also, that Christian Pugh case out of Austin too, where he was in a field for 60 hours and had no memory. So somebody must have just given him a huge dose of something, and he just woke up. And he had injuries too. So like that's you can look up that story. It's in my book, but like that's just one of like there's been different survivors. This guy Josh in Boston. There was another guy who woke up like underneath like a overpass. Like I don't
oh
even know how I
yeah,
got here. He went to the judge and he just said, I'm sorry, Judge, I don't have any memory of why I was there. I remember being there, but he didn't have any like he didn't say that he was guilty. He just said, I don't know what happened. I'm willing to take whatever penalty you have.
yeah.
But so I think there's a lot of those stories. Actually, there's a lot of drugging stories. I'm hearing more and more drugging stories kind of in LA. And there's been 2 gangs, I think one in New York and one in Austin, who were that was their criminal MO, was to drug people at bars and then take all their belongings or go back to their house and rob them. So they've been caught.
Jesus Christ.
It's getting rough. It's getting rougher. There's a lot of gangs now from Venezuela, right? So you talk about Scopalamin. They call it the Death's Head. What do they call it? There's some kind of name down in Colombia or
Yeah,
Venezuela where they
I don't
call
remember what it is.
scopolamine something else. But the prostitutes will drug their Johns down there too and do the same thing. So maybe that could be some of the people doing this is like guys from like South America who know how to drug people and take their stuff, and they've been
Yeah,
let through the border, you know.
yeah, yeah. No, and from from what I remember of it, of whatever documentary I watched, was like it wasn't even like a date rape drug, like a Rufinol, where people on it. It's very clearly that like they're on like a muscle relaxant, almost like they're fucked up. It's like that guy's drugged. Scopolamine is, for everyone listening, is like, to the best of my knowledge, it's very like, it doesn't even sound real. It's like people
Yeah.
will be completely about their senses to the external observer, but they will have no willpower to resist. There's almost like a truth serum aspect to it, and so they'll be taken back to their house or their apartment. I mean, there are like instances of somebody bringing them back to their own apartment, and not only does the criminal rob them, but the person helps them like move all their shit out, like on dollies and stuff. And then not only that, have no goddamn recollection of any of it. And it's like, you could drug someone on a GHB, but they're not going to help you move out. They're going to fall,
Right.
they're going to be face
Right.
down on the lawn. And it's like, no, there are like stories of like these people like helping someone move out, and they'd be like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" Like, "Oh, I'm just helping my buddy out." Like, you're all there. That's terrifying.
It's
And
terrifying.
yeah, you almost wonder if it's just, is this a form of just, cartel activity, Why not go
They
after
call it the devil's breath. Yeah, devil's
Devil's
breath
breath?
in
Yeah.
Columbine. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why, if you're going after a target, man, why not go after some white guy from an Ivy League? Seems
Unofficial estimates put the number of annual scopolamine incidents in Colombia at approximately 50,000.
that's comforting. So
The
could that be what?
majority of these incidents occur in nightclubs and bars, and usually men perceived to be wealthy are targeted by young, attractive women. Persons should never accept food or beverages offered by strangers or new acquaintances, nor leave food or beverages unattended in their presence. Seek immediate attention.
It kind of feels like the days and weeks after 9/11, where it's like you cannot let the terrorists win. You got to go out and live your life. I'm like reading this book, and I'm just sitting here now. I'm thinking, I'm like, should I just never leave my apartment again? And it's like,
It's like that.
no, that's how you fight these guys. I'm not sure that is how you fight them. I mean, rationally, is this something to like fear greatly? Because 317, that's a lot. Population of cities, that's not a lot at all.
Millions, no, it's not. I think if you're in the target group, you should be concerned because
Yeah.
there's clearly 20 to 25 if you're a swimmer, and the other thing is men are usually chasing women like heterosexuals, so they don't see themselves as a target where women do. Women
Yeah.
are always covering their drinks, so some of these guys may have been in a place where they never saw themselves as like a potential victim, which is why they
Yeah.
walk around at night and do stuff like that and go walk around by themselves. Like you see so many of these guys, like the last thing is at night, they're seen on a CCTV by themselves walking around and then never seen it.
It's so terrifying. You there? It's Ramsey? Froze up.
Okay, they actually have a website that shows where all the CCTV cameras are. So if you're relatively intelligent, you can just go in there and find out where they are. And if you're a criminal, you just stay away from that. And
Yeah.
that's actually how Stephen Port got busted. Is that the families like were of the people who were killed, they kept bothering the police. I want to see a video of my loved one. The last time you had it, you have the CCTV. Where is it? So they gave it over. Like this is how bad the police work was. They gave it over to the families, and the family said, "Okay, I forgot the name of the victim, but like there he is. Who's that guy with him?" And they're like,
Mm.
"We don't know." And they go, "Why don't you know? This is the last person who saw my loved one alive." And then they found out it was Stephen Port, and then they started asking him questions, and things got, just unraveled.
When did
But
he get caught?
fairly recently, I think 2020. I think that it's still going. There's an inquest that hasn't been done in the UK, but yeah, he was. That's a recent bust. Yeah, I forgot. Let's see what he got busted. He actually has his own like Wikipedia thing. 2016. That was a lot longer than I thought. But he had the GHB. Gave it to each of his victims.
Is it too conspiratorial to think that? Because I mean, some of the cops, the stories from the investigators, it seems so like Three Stooges bumbling stupid that you start to go, how much of this is incompetent? I mean, if we're, if they're using mathematical modeling to see where the cameras are not, and if they're getting, the richest and best, best looking guys, and they're all kind of, they go missing for, and there's no evidence of like, oh, they haven't been deceased for that long, and they all show up in like kind of the same area, same-ish areas or area types. It doesn't seem like it's that far out of their own possibility that you just have someone in a police department quash it.
Possibly. I mean, it's not outside of the realm of possibility of somebody being involved in that or covering it up. I think that I've talked to so many people about that. There's a lot of politics and there's a lot of economics involved. Like, you cannot have a college where somebody has been abducted and died. It's not in their interest to publicize that, because parents won't send their kids there. So there's a lot of cover up. Like the police, I think it was in Boston, the police chief came out and made a public statement saying these water deaths are not suspicious. He said that to the public, like there's nothing here to see. And it was a kind of a strange kind of statement, but like the public there doesn't believe it. I don't think they believe him.
Yeah.
Because like they've gone, I mean, I have that whole section in my book from Elias Jagger, who like the mysterious water deaths in Boston alone are off the charts. It's like 20 deaths.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a good point.
So, yeah. So I think there was politics is involved.
Yeah.
Just like everything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, concerning these schools, they don't want, you don't want that for the University of Georgia. Like, oh, and by the way, 20 guys go missing every year outside these bars. We normally find them in this river over here. You're probably good. Like, that doesn't.
The odds are good, right? It's only 1 in 1,000 chance.
Yeah.
You look over it,
Yeah.
But each one of those people who dies, their families are wrecked. The parents are.
It's a real family. Yeah, it's not
real family.
It's not just that's somebody's mom, somebody's dad, it's somebody else.
There's no answers. There's
no.
It's like just like somebody who's like a victim of serial killer, it reverberates through society, which some people think that may be why people are doing this, is to intentionally kind of traumatize communities. Which it's pretty dark.
Well, yeah, once it kind of gets to the satanic aspect of it, or the culling aspect, right? The entire thing is to remove those like not deemed worthy, or that it's helping society prune itself. And if that's what they're doing, the real goal might not even to be killed, not even to kill one person. It would be, can you somehow limit the activities of everyone? Can you punish everyone so that nobody, I don't know, reproduces or some shit? Like,
I mean, the attitudes of the ONA is like, we're Homo galacticus and you're all Homo hubriati, or some kind of different, racial class, subhuman class or something that we can cull.
Yeah.
We can do whatever. We're above the law too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of the Nazis kind of had that view. I mean, they definitely had that same kind of thing going on. Like, we're, the Ubermensch, you're the Untermensch. And this is just the natural order of things. It's Darwinian. And, this is proof that we're the ones who were supposed to survive by you losing.
Yeah.
It's really ugly. It's very vicious. So there's probably people out there, that really think that way. They would never come out and say it publicly, but, there's some pretty cold-blooded people out there. There's no question.
So this shit's so fucked up. What led to you wanting to write this?
I didn't want to write it. I didn't want to write it at all. I just kind of stumbled into it. I stumbled into almost all of my books. Like, I didn't go, I'm going to write this. This is my concept, and I'm going to compile this. They're really just processes of gathering information. So I didn't really know much about Crowley, and then I was researching 9/11. I didn't know much about the West Memphis Three and the occult there. And then I came across it and I was like, hey guys, there's this thing is redolent with occultism and the Crowleyism. And so it was during I was writing Children of the Beast. It has 800 footnotes. Like I was doing voluminous research over the 20th century kind of cultural history, and I kept seeing the smiley face in different environments and with a bunch of creeps like Alan Moore and Genesis P. Orge, guys in like weird bands and who practice magic. And I'm like, well, why is the smiley face around? And so I just kept seeing it out in the common culture. Like I have a whole like chapter about it in the common culture and like Ed Sheeran.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, what is this? Why is this symbol important? It looks on the surface just like a happy face, right? But why are these guys using it in strange contexts? And isn't there supposedly like a bunch of killings that took place called the smiley face killing? So that was an urban myth to me. And so then I started researching that, and it was like, yeah, this is an urban myth. This is actually really happening. So then I compiled stuff, and then I made 2 documentaries because I thought it was important. And then it led up to this book because everything that just happened in the last year or two, Chicago, Austin, other cases around the country, Toronto, 2 in Vancouver. I was like, this thing is writing itself.
Mm.
And I got information about remote viewing. Like I have one whole chapter on remote viewing involved in this, which the remote viewer who was in Europe kind of retraced this whole case of Colin Finnerty in Michigan. Is like, this is exactly what people thought it was happening. He had no information on another continent, and people knew that Finnerty's phone pinged in a weird way, and then he was found in a place previously searched, not on water, but I just felt like getting all of that information out. Just go here. This is what's happening. And also it's kind of like a warning, like you see all. I've followed so many cases of the ruined families and the mothers crying. The mothers really will get you because it's you're not supposed to bury your kids.
Yeah.
So I've seen enough of that where I don't want it to happen to anybody else either. So
Sure.
here's this, something weird is going on. I don't know what it is, but these are all probably murders. These are suspicious as heck. So
Yeah.
that's what I put it. I mean, kind of like I would say that's kind of the same thing about all my work, really, is putting stuff out there. I don't copy. I don't try to like emulate somebody else. I try to
Sure.
put information out there that isn't kind of, isn't commonly understood, maybe as it. So
So Alan Moore's a creep.
he's kind of a creep. He's kind of a jerk, and he says he spends half of his time making comics and the other half practicing magic. And he has a snake god that he talks to called Glycon. So, and all
Damn it.
this stuff is like occult related, right? From Hell, Watchmen. What else has he done?
I've heard he's a jerk.
Yeah,
I, I remember, I remember seeing Watchmen, but I remember reading it later in college, and I loved it. But I mean, that's so, yeah. Damn it.
Watchmen, Killing Joke, V for Vendetta, right? Has references to Crowley in that. He's done a lot of stuff. What did he do? Did the other one with all the guys, like the Heroes of England or whatever, A League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That's right.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Damn it. Why does he have to be an occult magic practicing asshole?
Good question. Well, I mean, that's what they get their inspiration, inspiration to do the works, I guess.
Talks to a snake god named Glycon.
Yep.
What the
It's in
fuck?
my book, Children of the Beast. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just it's
Do you
just,
want me to read? Do you want me to read from it? Let me see if I
yeah,
can
no,
find
please
Children of the
do. No,
Beast.
please do.
Okay, let
That's
me
just
find it.
that's just like it's a statement that needs more. Just throw it out there. Snake god named Glycon.
Let me get it. Yeah, he's an interesting character, and all his stuff is full of occultism and all that stuff.
Damn it, Alan Moore.
Yeah. The most influential comic book writer of all time, I guess is one way to put it. All right, here we go. More, where are you? Yes. Let's see, Glycon. He's an LSD dealer, like Crowley. Mentions Crowley in a lot of his stuff. Share a lot of the same language.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Enochian calls of what is it? John D. is up there. It's done all that. Moore describes his encounter with the entity Glycon. Starting with January 1994, all of a sudden, it suddenly got a little less of a remote academic topic for me. I found myself in the middle of what seemed to be a full-blown magical experience that I could not really account for. What do you mean? When you found you've spent the least part of an evening talking to an entity that tells you that it is a specific goetic demon that was first mentioned in the book of Tobit in the Apocrypha, there's only so many ways that you can take that. The most obvious way is that you had some form of hallucination or that you had some sort of mental breakdown, something like that, which is fine, unless there have been other people there with you who had similar experiences at the time or something similar. Then when you say, all right, this was some type of real experience, then you have to think, well, was it therefore something that was purely internal? Was this a part of myself that I've given a name and face to or projected in some way? That's possible. Or is this what it was said it was? Was this some type of external entity that actually was what it claimed to be and was talking to me? That's possible. So he's having like this thing with God, the Roman god Glycon. Lucian explains that the whole Glycon cult was an enormous fraud and that Glycon was a gloved puppet. I've got no reason to disbelieve whatsoever. It sounds absolutely true. Yeah, that false prophet Alexander, who was the person putting on the Glycon show. As it goes on, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, so that's his kind of god is Glycon.
I think if you think about Watchmen, that actually does kind of it does track in terms of Satanism. The entire concept is the noble calling of the population,
Yeah,
right?
here's
And
more Glycon. He had some kind of like poem to Glycon. Alan suggested it was time to invoke the spirit of Glycon. In his resonant baritone, he intoned, "Sweet Glycon, snake of light and wisdom, we entreat thee, come amongst us." Hopefully it won't show up. Come amongst us in that glorious body, if it be that I will. Come from the bright land without time, that we may know the touch of honeyed scales, thy splendor now uncoiling in our consciousness. Accept us into thine embrace, immortal Glycon, luminous intelligence. O Glycon, most profound embodiment of great Asclepius, kin of the moon and the discarnate. Yeah, it just goes on and on. So he had this like public kind of like ritual that he was like invoking Glycon.
I was gonna say, I mean, do we have a responsibility to like not read the whole incantation if we're
We
like dreaming
do
for
you
like
want,
1,000
do you
years
want me to
more?
read the whole thing? You can
No,
read it in my book.
I don't think you should. I think it's
I
like
don't think so either.
no, it's like let's not read out the entirety of the nuclear codes. We don't know who
Yeah,
has a key to what, right? It's
right.
don't do that. But I think we've talked about this before. This might kind of be a is there any credence to any of this? No, I don't. No part of me doubts, the practicing of it. It's provable they do. But I mean, everything they do is to, the elite. They don't do shit that's a waste of time, right? They may be evil, but they are highly driven and organized and successful.
Right.
It then starts to make you think like, is there more to this than we know? I mean, are different entities, is that really just alien races? Is it because you do hit a point where they all do it and they all seem to treat it with such fervor or such respect that at a certain point you have to start wondering, like, is there something to this? Like, is it not something to just laugh at? Like, are there dark forces? Like, it sounds like, like Harry Potter magic shit, but is it simply just a form of physics that we haven't discovered yet? There seems to be something very real about it, or does the power it have come from the fact that they give it power?
What's a good question? I've talked to people who practiced magic and they say it worked. So whatever the rituals are, they're doing it because it has some kind of ceremonial effect. Maybe
Yeah.
it's harder, but they definitely think that there's some kind of magical, whether you're trying to like evoke it into being by doing a ritual, it like solidifies something in your world and things happen. So I think maybe people think that this is a magical, maybe it's some kind of magical working. I mean, the Order of Nine Angles has its dark gods, right? 21 dark gods from the acausal world, meaning like outside some spiritual realm. And to become the top at Order of Nine Angles, you're supposed to commit an offer. So, does somebody believes that somebody wrote it, and people practice that? You know, they're part of that group or inspired or influenced by that group. There's no question about it. So, you know, it's something there. I think that it's always been there. It's always kind of like, even in the Old Testament, there's always stories about people going to worship Molech or other gods, you know, and God reminds people that you shall have no other God than me. You know, that's like the first commandment. So people were always drifting off, and so maybe they're doing it today. Like there's different names for God. In my first book, I have the 77 names of Satan, right? So it's in LaVey's Devil's Handbook. Which one is it? Satan. I forgot which book it was, but he has the 77 names for the devil. So you could just be using a different name and, you know, referencing Satan or something like that. So it gets confusing, but those gods are like the Old Testament or old countries. They always had these weird demon gods. Aztecs, we know theirs. Um, Carthage had like, you know, kind of Old Testament baby killing gods and stuff like that. So it's been around. People wouldn't do it if they didn't think it worked. Like, why do you think they would sacrifice a child or something like that? Like,
Kind of, guess he doesn't really fall into the classification. Kind of interesting, you know. What, 2 days before we do this show, Matthew Perry dies in a body of water. I don't know. Maybe that's guerrilla marketing for your book.
who knows? But he died, and do you know what his like Twitter picture was? Him like cuddling a smiley face pillow. Have you seen that?
No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah. It's on my Twitter page. See if I can find it. I don't know if I can share it.
It was actually him with a smiley face.
Yeah, if you go to his Twitter feed.
I got banned from Twitter.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I get banned from all of them. I'll pull it up on my phone.
There it is. There it is. It's like some kind of. Let me see if I can share. If I could put it in the chat.
I
Share screen. There we go. There we go. There we go. Can you see that?
yeah.
That's him.
No. And that's like,
It was up on his Twitter feed when he died, and it's been up there for 3 years. Yeah,
dude,
people researched it.
dude,
So
dude.
yeah, pretty
No.
wild, huh? I mean,
That's
is he part of the cult?
that means this is some high level shit.
Heavy duty, high level stuff. It's all over Hollywood. Smiley faces all over in the clothing and the movies. I mean, it's everywhere. Like I found so many instances, even outside of Watchmen.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? Why? What is it? Is it like an insignia of the cult? I don't have any idea. I'm not part of it.
And it's like, yeah, it's the least suspecting insignia. It's
Here's
the
another one.
smiley
This
face.
this is another one of Perry. I don't even know what this is. Go on. I don't know what it is.
Hmm. What is it? He just drowned in his hot tub.
Seems
Damn, that
weird, doesn't it?
that has to be an OD, right? I mean, I was I was playing video games with my buddy, and he like mentioned it, and like the immediate conclusion of everyone there was like, "But yeah, that's drugs, right? You don't just fall asleep in your hot tub, and if you do, like your brain, you wake up when you inhale water." I mean,
Seems weird to me. He wasn't that old. I think 54.
yeah.
A young guy.
I mean, you guess he could have a heart attack. I don't know. I don't know.
Hollywood is littered with suspicious early deaths and weird things. Like
Yeah,
it's rough.
man. It
So many
really
people
is.
die. Yeah,
It really is Holly weird. It
it
really
is. I mean, tons of abuse, tons of like
at every level.
every level. Like to get ahead, people try to abuse you and cast you aside. Just the most ruthless, vicious, nasty stuff.
Ugh.
Yeah, go figure that out. I don't know what the hell you know. I don't know what to say. There it is.
Yeah, I don't really have any positive conclusion. It's just right. That's a smiley face. Jesus.
Let's see if it's still up on his Twitter. I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm gonna look. Matthew Perry.
Yep, still there.
No way.
Yep. I'll take a screenshot.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my own screenshot record. Sure enough. Sure enough, everybody. See that shit right there.
You got it. You found it. There it is. Yeah.
Buddy.
They claimed him for, whatever, to sacrifice the water death. There's something about the water. Like I'm not in the occult, but there's like I've seen these other occultists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like there's something about the water that they like
Well,
you
I mean,
disperse the
seems to be the inversion of Christ, right? Isn't, wash my feet or wash my hands. It always seems to be like in Catholicism, not Catholicism, Christianity always seems to be a very good
like
thing.
a washing, yeah. You're cleansing yourself of
So
sin and stuff
so
like
this
that.
is maybe the inversion of that. Like,
Maybe, yeah.
do a kidnapping, rape, murder, and then you throw it. It kind of seems to be like a satanic mockery of it.
Possibly, yeah. It's
I,
also like I've heard like, you have the air, water, fire, spirit or whatever, and I heard that the like you're dispersing energy into the spirit world through water or something like that. I've heard something like that. So I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about it. I sit back and I dole out my PhD wisdom on the occult. I don't know shit. That's, I mean, not to make fun of it. That sucks, right? He had a family. He had people that loved him. So not to just shit on that, but
Yeah, I don't know.
they're definitely, even just in the course of this podcast, coming up on 4 years of it, there's been a lot of good things, and I've learned an insane amount. But I'd say one of the more unique things is kind of the coming to terms with the practicing of the occult is very, very real,
No doubt.
which seems like such like a layup statement, but for somebody that always just wrote it off as just like, yeah, and I've loved conspiracies since I didn't go to my prom. I was reading like Tim Weiner's Legacy of Ashes. Like I've been into all this shit since I was young. This isn't new for me, but I've always written that part off as like, that's intentional misinfo or disinfo. It's seeded there to make you look crazy. But I mean, the more you look at it, like, yeah, is whether or not it's tapping into something real. Is there some real form of dark energy or dark gods? I don't know how we could know that, but whether or not it's practiced, it's undeniable that it's practiced, which is creepy enough in my mind.
Agreed.
You're just
It's
like,
everywhere, man.
yes,
It's also you seated throughout the culture. If you just put on your kind of like Illuminati detector goggles, it's like they
yeah,
live, man. It's everywhere.
yeah,
Like I've done
really,
so many movie like analyses of all these occult movies, and they're just hitting you with just symbols and language and masonry and all that stuff. It's all over the place.
yeah. When you look at like, yeah, like the city layout of Washington D.C. It's like a pentagram, and you're like, how do you? There's nowhere to go with. There's nothing to do with that piece of information. You're just like, well, the center of the nation with the most sprawling military in the history of man worship Moloch, and you're like, well, that's unfortunate. Like
There's
there's
a
nothing to.
gigantic obelisk, like it's not there by mistake.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it's just on there's a gigantic obelisks all throughout the world. It's not just Rome. You can
sure.
go to like Buenos
City of
Aires,
London.
yeah,
It's
everywhere.
right.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
not a mistake. There's a statue to Albert Pike, or used
It,
to be. I think they took it down. But
yeah. But my buddy Drew said that we were playing video games. I think last week. I might have been bringing your book up to him or something. But we're talking about like yeah, like the road layouts of DC, and he was like, yeah, I think that was his line. He goes, "There's nowhere to go with that. It's like the $800 billion a year military that controls everything from the moon down to the lowest trenches is controlled by Satanists, or the capital of that country seems to be an actual. The very layout seems to be an offering to the devil. There's
it's the
what do you,
District of Columbia. It's
yeah,
not District of Jesus Christ.
yeah, what yeah,
It's not the district. Yeah, it's. I
what
mean,
do
it's
you
obviously some occult thing from the very beginning.
yeah, but it's like you
Hard for
say
people to wrap their who people who aren't into it can't grasp it. Yeah.
yeah, it's like but you say that line and it's like what do you do with that? Like, it's like bringing up like nuclear weapons still, are still in silos and nuclear submarines around the world. And it's like, yeah, I don't know what to. I hope nothing bad happens. Like, there's nothing to do with that. Yeah, it seems that the most powerful people on the planet worship Lucifer.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, it's
Next,
yeah.
it's just like Temptations of Christ. I
All
got
right,
you. I want. I can give you all the king to see this. These are all
yeah,
the kingdoms of the earth. I can give
yeah.
that to you. You shall have no other god before me. Right? It goes back to that.
All right. Well, it is now your responsibility to leave me with a positive note because I did an episode before this that was depressing about World War III, and now this episode's got me depressed about I don't know.
It's
Like
depressing. You got to be
oh
careful. That's really my warning to everybody, and that's the positive thing: is stay close to home. Don't take drinks from strangers. Don't end up with like one of these victims. Go out like a women do. Go out in groups, and it's like going
groups.
back in the freaking, back in the jungle with Charlie. Everybody comes back alive.
Yeah,
Don't leave your buddies alone. If they start acting strange, they might have been drugged, and you got to key into that.
yeah.
You know,
Oh,
so, and hopefully people, if people in their mind frame hear something like this and they're out at night, maybe they'll see something suspicious. They'll take pictures. They'll notice.
sure.
They'll be more aware. So if the word gets out, then that's positive.
Hmm.
Have
Yeah.
you ever seen the House of the Temple in DC?
No.
They'll never show it on TV. It's never been shown. Let me see if I can find it to you. It's like the most amazing occult thing of all time. Like I remember, like when it's the Scottish Rite Temple. Let's see if I can pull it up. But like I just remember sitting when I was in DC, just sitting there staring at it, like this is incredible, man. People put so much effort into this thing. You see that?
Yeah.
See if I can pull this up. It's got like sphinxes. It's right north of it's north of the White House.
Yeah.
1733 16th Street. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
And it looks like this, like it's very well kept, very
Yeah.
well maintained.
Yeah. That seems to be like more. I mean, I was looking at this thing where it's like one of the largest defense contractors. It's like SAIC, and like outside of it's like two sphinxes and like I don't know some sign of Atlantis, and it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, look at how much stuff they put in there. Like it's
Yeah,
just beautiful, like a library. The
you have
Sphinx. The
you have
Sphinx in Masonry, the Sphinx represents to know, to will, to dare, and to stay silent.
Mm,
That's the Eliphas Levy kind of interpretation.
that could be a CIA motto.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you ever get worried that they're gonna pop you?
Man, I was I was in DC for 3 years, man. Their
Yeah.
bodies popping up all the time, dude.
Yeah.
That place is a freaking charnel house.
Yeah.
So you keep your head down, and you know, I was pretty well seasoned even before I wrote my first book in 2010. I know a lot. And I
Yeah.
don't talk about it, but I know a lot.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This was cheery. Is there anybody watching? Sorry if you watched the one before
We
this.
got to fight our way out of this, man. We got to make sure we don't go into World War III, and we got to clean up some of the stuff that's going on in society. We're gonna have it's gonna get worse. They're
Oh,
let
yeah.
7 million people in running around. They're doing all kinds of crimes and stuff. There's no rule of law anymore. So if we're gonna survive, it's a matter of survival at this point. Like
Mm,
this isn't like, hey, we got to go home and just, cower, because it's gonna get bad. Like I have kids.
yeah.
Like, the people, it's weird. The external enemies are nothing compared to the people who are running the country now. Like Joe Biden's approval rating should be 0. He's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Like
No,
he's just the country's sliding down into like sliding into a cheese grater or something. He
yeah.
can't make any good decisions. So I
Well, and
mean,
then
we're
you start to wonder if they don't make any good decisions, then is it an intentional demolition?
right. Yeah, yeah, it's a planned demolition. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. And then seems like
Then what?
yeah.
Like,
Well, and then it's like we couldn't be the entire world. I'll do the Biden administration and give them one, and that not just them. The entire world seems like it's not like we're just like tripping up here and there. It seems like we are intentionally hitting all the right steps to just go towards World War III. Like we're not missing a beat. It's like an Olympic gymnast. It's like just doing twirls and like landing perfectly on 2 feet, and it's like boom, Europe, boom,
next
Middle
step,
East,
yeah, at
boom, and
least
it's just like
culture war all over the world,
it's like
Muslim invasion.
yeah, and
So
it's
it's
like we're
like,
not even like making some mistakes where it's like, oh guys, we're sliding. It's like they are just 10, 10, 10. We are
yeah,
going right to World War III. And
yeah,
that's
no,
curious. So then why is that happening?
yeah. I mean, you could probably just go to UN, Luciferianism.
Yeah.
It's all Luciferianism. Like I did this show with John Brisson about the externalization of the hierarchy and the way they think in their meditation rooms in the UN. They
Yeah.
want to get rid of people. They like knowingly Luciferianism,
Oh, they got
meditation,
that
get rid of the
black rock.
subhumans. Yeah,
They
yeah.
got that black rock in their meditation room.
Yeah, when you put that together with the kind of Lucis Trust people and the Blavatsky types, it makes perfect sense. They're meditating to the devil, dude. It's not a joke. They're Luciferianism's plain and simple. They hate Christians and they want to have a new world order, and get rid of all the chaff that they think are chaff. That's what Barbara Marx Hubbard flat out said it. She wants to be the book of Revelation. She wants to get rid of a quarter of the population. So they believe it. That's what they believe. And they're in all over the UN, Geneva, and all these places. So, yeah, it's bad.
It's bad.
It's
But
bad. It's bad.
and I always whenever I start to like smile or laugh, I always realize the guest is kind of staring at me. But it's like so bad that you kind of can't not have a chuckle.
Yeah, I don't know what the way out. It's like you almost have to get the US back into its kind of other state where they had no entangling alliances.
I
And
think
the US
that's
has
it,
to,
man. I think it's
yeah,
Fortress America. I think
yeah, that's it. We just take care of ourselves. You guys can do and squabble with yourselves. We're not get rid of these bases.
yeah.
You guys figure it out.
I really do believe that.
Yeah, and then we just figure it out here. Get the rule of law back. Get people arrested who are criminals. Because the people who are in power now, that we cannot survive with them. It's
Yeah.
a matter of survival. Like it's not like, hey, this is bad. This is people who are I mean, you can go into COVID as just one example, but they're not fulfilling their constitutional duty at the border. They're
Yeah.
supposed to protect. It's their constitutional duty to protect from invasion.
Yeah.
We were being invaded, so
Yeah. Yeah, no, this isn't some
whole,
like saber rattling. Like, no, it is in the cost. Like, you have to
yeah,
provide, yeah,
yeah,
against an invasion.
yeah. They're
Yeah,
lying about everything. They think that these people are going to come in and so vote Democratic, but it doesn't matter because they're stealing the vote anyway. So you've
yeah,
got open borders, stolen vote, World War III. You have and the COVID fiasco and bioweaponry. It is freaking, but it's worse than World War III. It's a book of Revelation.
yeah.
Like this is like end
A
times, but
world,
it's all
World
this
War
bad.
Three is like doable. You're like, we can
Yeah,
work with that.
right.
You're like, that
Yeah,
implies a
right.
fourth, right? To
Right.
numbers, like, no, man,
Yeah,
this is
this is
end
everything.
times, and you're
Yeah,
like,
and then throw in the culture, like the confused culture, chaos, agents. I mean, who would have thought people would have like 65 genders?
yeah,
I just never thought that that would even be an issue. Like, we need to put our pronouns together. What? Like,
yeah,
what? Yeah, like, what are you talking about? So
yeah. I don't know. I
it's
guess just
bad.
find peace with God.
Yeah, I think so. I think God is the way out.
Yeah,
God and Jesus, absolutely, 100%.
yeah. I
It's
really,
always been that way, actually. So,
yeah. No, I really do. That's kind of that's one of the conclusions that I've kind of come back to through this podcast. Is like, yeah, I don't really see any way out. I think when everything seems to be falling around, you go, yeah, I don't think we're getting out of this.
no, we're not. When you see all the occultism too, I mean, it kind of confirms the biblical worldview in a strange way.
Well, no, no, and that's one thing I've said before is like when you see that, that implies the opposite, right? The demons
Correct.
who prey on children, that's pure evil. And if pure evil exists, then so does pure love. So does pure goodness. And that is right. I mean, winter implies summer, right? Night implies
Absolutely.
day. You by definition, you cannot have something cannot contrast with something else, and but if it lives on its own. So to me, that's like, oh, if they put that much weight into the occult, then that means there is an opposite, right? And then
Indeed.
that would be the thing that doesn't prey on power. That would be the opposite. It's not for the desecration of innocence. It would be for the preservation of innocence. It would be, you know, instead of taking what's yours and being the beast in the field, it's the opposite. It would be like, it is easier to pass through the eye of a needle, a camel to go through the eye, and then there's a little bit of lightness from there. You go, oh, you know, a belief in it. I never thought a belief in God would come from the most evil shit. I always thought it'd be like God giving you a sign of, here's an angel. Instead, it's like, yeah, you see that island of like pedophiles? You're like, yeah, it's just pure evil. And it's like, well, what does that imply? You're like, oh, like sneaky, sneaky. God snuck that in there, right? It's, so at least he's got a
Maybe
sense
that's
of,
his sign. Maybe that's his
that's
sign of
his
his
sign. No,
goodness.
he's
Like
got a
here,
sense
these
of
people
humor.
they have not followed me. They're going their own path. You can see how evil it is. See all the lives they've ruined. That's what happens. Do you want to be part of that? Or you
Yeah.
can come back to me.
Yeah.
So you
No,
make a choice. Yeah,
God's got
make
a
a
sense of
choice.
God's got a sense of humor.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't send you like an angel with a trumpet. He's like, look at all those pedophiles on that island. You're like, yeah, man, what the fuck
They're
is
probably
that?
killing kids too. I think
Yeah,
they're
of
probably. I've
course
heard
they
there's kids
probably
buried. Yeah, they're probably buried. I've heard they're buried under the tennis courts.
of course they are, man. I mean,
There's kids
uh,
disappeared. They were trafficking kids from Venezuela. So where are all those kids? Like I know the girls, the white girls from Florida went to New York and stuff, but where's the ones that don't speak English? Like that, it was industrial scale. So it's
yeah,
that level of
no,
evil. And
again,
Biden has his own island nearby too, by the way. So
really.
tells you what. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Owns an island.
in the
Yeah, in the
Franklin,
Bahamas. Yeah.
really.
I think it's like within 25 miles of Epstein's island. Biden
Gee,
has his own island. Yeah.
in
How do you
the
pay for that?
in the Franklin scandal, Nick Bryant talks about. There's like one chapter of it where they talk about these things called power meetings, and it's like these kids recollecting like we were locked in these cages, and they were raping us repeatedly night after night, but all these guys were like wearing devil masks and stuff, and they would take out some of the kids and just like cut their throat. And it was like the darkest shit ever. It was not just rape. It was full on like blood sacrifice. And yeah, I mean, at the risk of just sounding like a lunatic, you start to look at it and you go, yeah, I'm not too confident that they're not doing that.
Yeah, they launder money and funnel property through family members. So it was his brothers.
Okay.
Let's see, Virgin Island land deal. There was another kind of island. I gotta find it. Water Islands, bit of land use, Virgin Islands. Looks pretty nice. There's another one. I gotta find it. I gotta reference it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean that may be the positive way to end it. Is like you can see all the chaos, destruction, evil. Like I never thought I'd see the stuff that's happened to like 9/11 and all that. I would never thought I would have gone through all that, but the answer is through Son of God, Jesus Christ. That's it.
no, it's through Jesus, it's through God. It's
Yeah.
And I'm someone that started this podcast like as an atheist, and I've completely done a 180. I'm just like, yeah, no, there's and again, it's through witnessing just pure evil. I mean, like en masse giving infants an injection that causes myocarditis. You go, that's pure evil. I mean,
Pure evil.
pushing like the, opioid epidemic, it's like, yeah, that's bad. But it doesn't really, I'm not really surprised by it. You're like, yeah, well, adults are always going to get fucked up and somebody took advantage of it. An injection to not even kids, infants.
Infants to damage their heart. It's incredible.
You go, I don't, I can't even, right?
It's not fathomable. Yeah, it's not graspable.
It can't wrap your head around it. And I mean, due to adults, you could maybe always argue, like, yeah, well, if an adult really wanted to. I mean, I had friends that lost their jobs. You could say, if you really don't want it, you can find a way to not get it. But there's no infant that's like, hold on, let me see the data. Let me like, you're an infant. Yeah, you can't even walk, you can't talk. To do that, and to do that in a massive industrialized manner, that's not
Pure evil. Pure evil.
That's not empire. That's not neighboring gangs using greed. That's pure evil. I mean, that is like a cult black mass shit. Like,
yeah,
there's no other way. You can't, there is no other. They're not stupid. Calling them stupid is an out that they don't deserve. Right? It's pure fucking evil. But
they did it intentionally. Gene therapy. They sold gene therapy as a vaccine. It's incredible. It's a bioweapon. Everything in that whole suite, depending upon what shot you got, God only knows what people got, but lipid nanoparticles, loose DNA, mRNA, just goes on, and spike protein. It's just one after another poison.
And the more time that goes on, the more shit you find out that's in it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, you couldn't write a worse thing. It's like, and it causes AIDS.
Like, yeah, vaccine AIDS, great.
You're like, what? But
no, I think the sad thing is that they've been poisoning us for decades. Yeah, there's no question in my mind.
Yeah,
this was just their big kind of their triumph.
This was the one that was so big that it got us looking at it, right?
Yeah,
it's been going on forever.
Yeah, you walk it back, they've been poisoning people.
Yeah,
the aerosol, so it's obviously a toxin. Like, they can't excuse that. They can try to go after people who tell you it's bad, but it's so obvious. It's like putting plutonium in your body.
Yeah,
no wonder. All those people who have like autism, weird, OCD and all this stuff, their brains got fried from vaccines. I think it's all done by intent. Yeah,
but
horrible.
This all implies pure evil, which implies the opposite. So I think that's the positive takeaway that all used so that I don't go insane.
Yeah, we need to go back to the Bible. We need to go back to the Lord Jesus and pray for, full a new society to survive,
Yeah.
because this one isn't worth. We can't survive with these people in the society.
No.
Can't survive with somebody at the CDC. That
No.
witch over there, Cohen, is like trying to push the double jab on people. It's just more mass murder.
Yeah.
She does it with a straight face. I saw Chucky Schumer up there too. Like, hit your shots. I'm not taking it, but you guys should.
Yeah.
Like, that they're in on it. It's obvious they're in on it. They're in on the kill.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
the people can't comprehend that. Like, it's probably the same thing that happened in Nazi Germany or some of these other communist countries. Like, I couldn't believe that they would be capable of that, but you're witnessing it.
yeah.
So
You
you can
don't
see,
need to
like, I bet
believe you don't need to believe it.
yeah,
You're looking at it.
Cambodians, they're probably like, there's no way they're gonna, get rid of Phnom Penh and shove us all out into the fields and work us to death. There's no way. They'd never do that. It's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
He said that they were all kind of class traitors and literally killed a third of the population. So democide is the norm.
Yeah.
Democide is actually the norm. If you look at the 20th century, it's 150, 180 million people dead. And what the US is kind of like, it's used to kind of doing it against the indigenous or something. Now it's turned on us. Now it's turned on the population. So it's kind of a new thing we have to adapt to. No, never give your weapons away, or they're starting to call it. I saw Kamala Harris like start saying, "Oh yeah, Australia is a great example of giving your weapons away." When that useless witch starts talking about like gun control after this most recent weird shooting, you should go and look at your armaments and then double it.
Yeah. Go find it and double it. Yeah.
Yeah, double down.
Yeah. No, it's Australia.
Because they'll kill you. They've already killed us. They've already killed a bunch of children and poisoned little infants. So, trying to do it against the rest of the population is like nothing. That's an old hat for them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, to use Australia as an example, it's like, you mean that fucking hellhole that built camps that threw in people with the virus with a 99.9% survival rate? That, oh yeah, it's be like them. Eat a fucking dick. Yeah, yeah, double up, triple up on your ammunition. Fuck.
And your bag out, your bug out bag, your plans, your food,
Yeah,
your ability to get off grid.
yeah,
You need to people really need to. I mean, we're there. You need to
yeah,
start thinking about that, because if things go real south, you're going to have like 2020 all over the country again, because people are going to go riot in the streets, and you don't want to be the one kept flat footed. So I have a huge bag of beans, rice. I can last.
yeah,
I know how to get water.
yeah.
So people need to actually start thinking on those terms.
And then looking past even that, make sure you pray,
Yeah.
because even all your beans, all your ammo, even if you die of old age, even if you survive all the turmoil, you're still gonna die. I mean, find God. That's really
Oh God, yeah.
find God. It's took me a long time to get back to that, but
Amen.
that's the only conclusion I have after all this is find God. So I think we managed to wrap it up in a positive manner.
I think so.
I think we did. We were nosediving. The plane was spiraling, but we're back at level right now.
I think
So,
so.
guys,
That's the positive note. If there's
Yeah.
pure evil, there's pure good. God
Absolutely.
loves you. God loves you. God loves all of his children. So
God loves you.
get back to that relationship with God. Yeah.
Is if you see these people in power that just seem to have blackness behind their eyes, and you go, how could they be full of so much hate and desire for power? Well, the opposite's also true, that you can be loved. You can never be kicked out into the cold. There is a God that exactly loves all of his children. And that's free will, right? You are free to turn it down, because God does, if your God's marionette, that's nothing new. It's all right, whatever, right? That is your free will. It's God will always love you. The sun is always shining. You have to walk out of like your house, right? Doesn't, that's free will. So yeah, I think we did it. I think we threaded the needle. I think we turned the smiley face killer into a positive podcast. But guys, if you go into the description, I did update it. The link to the book is there, and yeah, dude, I'll shoot you a text and we'll schedule the next one.
Sounds good. Thanks for
Mr.
having me.
Ramsey,
Glad to be with you. Yeah,
thank you,
take
yeah,
care.
you as well. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Thank you so much for watching.